Welcome to our custom space where dreams take flight. A positive visions come to life. It's a purpose.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Custom Carving and Epoxy UK. And you may wonder what the heck is he got going off this time? And it's a bit of a strange one. I was chatting to Loula from Nerd Goblin Art in Discord, and she said she was going to try Larimar. So those of you that have watched the channel know I've never got it right yet. So I thought, do you know what? Let's get involved. Let's have a Larimar challenge between me and Loula and see what we get. So I'm going to try these a bit differently. And you can see these are my previous makes. That one almost worked. And that's been the closest I've had with this fake ocean white. And this is what I typically get, more of a white consistency. And honestly, I think it's the resin I'm using. And I'm still going to be using the same resin in this. So I don't think I'm going to get a better effect. But we're going to see. But the great thing with these were, look at the backs. They came out stunning. So these were my Larifails, I called them. But I still love them. And I use them as upside down coasters. So all I'm going to do is mix up. I know these coasters take up around about 5 ounces of resin, 4.5 to 5 ounces. So I'm going to mix up 10 ounces, maybe a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to go with 12 because I'm going to try 2 different whites in this. So I'm going to use the one that I had the best effect with last time, which is this fake ocean white from Temu. And I think it's because it's more of a liquidy consistency that it worked better. So, and then the next one I'm going to try is my own mix, mixing some alcohol with this Larimar angel white color paste and see what that does. But you know me, I'm not going to make it plain either. I'm going to use 5 different colors in these and see what we get. So I'm going to mix up the resin now, and I'm going to try and pour it straight away because I'm using quite a medium viscosity resin, which I know can affect it. You should be, I think, to get the proper effect, using a slightly thinner resin. So I'm going to get it mixed, get it in debubbler, and then we're going to literally, this is probably going to be one of my quickest pours and mixers at the same time. So I'll see you guys once the resin's mixed, and let's see if we get a Larimar or another Larifail, and let's see how Loula gets on hers as well. So I'm going to do this as a premiere as well, straight after hers, and we'll see whose works, if any. And here we go, and you've got voiceover, Andy, I'm afraid, for this part, because the microphone didn't seem to connect. So look at the resin, beautifully crystal clear, and I'm just going to pour it into these cups, ready to mix those colours. And I'm going to try and do it as quickly as possible because, as I said before, this is a medium viscosity resin, and I don't think it's going to work. So just getting a shifty on so that we can get this project done. And again, I know I'm not the best at voiceovers, so apologies for that, but it's better than having silence, I think, while we just fast forward through. How the channels on YouTube that do these perfect voiceovers do it, I will never know. But here we go. So putting some of the resin in for the 2 different whites as well. And I think that's going to be one of the interesting things on this project is whether my own white even works in this Larimar effect, or whether it doesn't, you know. So I've got enough, I think, in those, which is pretty much half of my resin at this point. But I just thought, do you know what, I'm not going to need as much white because from the videos I've seen where the Larimar works, they don't use quite as much of the white in there. They just put enough in there to cover that base. So we're going to start by mixing up these colors, and as you can see, I've got a few different ones. This is just the standard red from Let's Resin. The next one is going to be the peach red, I believe. Here we go, beautifully neon pink almost. And I do love the alcohol inks from Let's Resin. Absolutely stunning. This next one's going to be orange. And I'm putting around about 10 drops in each because I think with the Larimar, because you're doing it on top of a white, it always makes the colour look a little bit paler. Or it should do anyway in a Larimar. And then this last one I've got is a dandelion yellow. Again, I didn't want to use the lemon yellow. I thought it'd be a little bit too pale. So these are the colours we're going to have. So hopefully, if this Larimar works, we're going to have 4 different colours going into making it. And it's going to be really interesting just to see what effects we get if any. I've also done purple, which was slightly off screen, as you can see here, but it's a beautiful colour. I think it was the dark indigo. Or it could be blue, actually, looking back. Looking at this, I don't believe it is the indigo. It could be the blue. We'll find out more when I pour. So you will see as I do it. But yeah, it's bizarre doing a voiceover. But whilst you're here as well, just want to say thank you to everyone as well for subscribing. We've got over 8,000, which is amazing. When you're mixing alcohol ink into the resin, make sure you give it a good mix so that that alcohol ink gets into all of the resin and you're not going to get a streaky effect. Although in the Larimar Effect, I don't really think it would matter too much, but you do want the whole of the resin completely pigmented. So just make sure you give it a good stir around. Only takes a few seconds and hopefully it should give you a better piece. But I'm not holding my breath on this. And again, I've not seen Loula's results, but I'm willing to bet she's going to give us some great results because I don't think I've ever seen a bad result from Loula. So if you guys haven't already, as well as subscribing to this channel, please check out Loula over at Nerd Goblin Art. And she makes some amazing frogs, especially, as well as other art. And she's very different to me. She's got a great Welsh voice on the videos, which a lot of people find very soothing. And she is very creative and can paint. So, again, a very different channel, but she's a great community member. And we just thought this would be a fun challenge. So this is the orange, mixing it together. And then we're going to do the yellow. And don't forget, we've just done this month's members giveaway. So if you want a chance to win a piece of my art wherever you are in the world, it's the best way to do it. Join membership for the cost of a coffee. It really supports the channel, helps us grow, helps us keep doing experiments like this. And believe it or not, we've gone 10 o'clock in the evening while I'm doing this voiceover, but I wanted to get this out and done and edited so it is ready for Wednesday as a premiere right after Loula's. So I hope it's definitely a full-time job running a YouTube channel as well as working full-time. So here we go. There's my colours. So they're my main colours. I've got those 5 colours mixed. Now we're going to go on to the white. And I think it's going to be pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. The first one is anyway. So the first one that I'm going to do is this fake ocean white that I got from Temu. It's a complete rip-off of Let's Resins. They've even got the jellyfish on there. And it's nowhere near as thick as the Let's Resin one. It's very liquidy, and that's why I thought it might work for this. So again, not going to add too much of this because I don't want too much pigment in there. So just 3 drops. And I think that should give us enough for this first one on the left. And I'm using both of my Crystal Edge homemade coaster molds for these as well. If you've not watched that video, go back and watch it. The original took me 7 attempts to make. But again, I'm looking for a pasty white, I suppose, a bit like skim milk, a bit like what you'd use in the Bloom Effect. Now, this one is going to be bizarre. So I've not tried Larez yet, but it's a very, very strong white pigment. So I'm just going to get the tiniest bit on the end of my stick like that. And that's it. No more. Because I don't want it to be too heavy. So there's the first part. And then the second part, I thought, to help it spread, I'm going to put some 99.9% alcohol in there. Not too much. Probably 5 squirts. And again, I don't know if this is going to work at all. Never tried it before. But we all know this channel likes to experiment. I'm going to mix that one around first so the alcohol doesn't evaporate. And again, it's given us that transparent whiteness, which is what I wanted. And I think they're quite similar colours now. So I'm pretty happy with that. Again, this one is just an experiment. But I think it's going to be exciting just to see what it turns out like, if we get anything like the Larimar effect by doing it. And don't worry, guys, VoiceOver Andy isn't here for the whole experiment. You get normal Andy when we get to demold. So I'm just going to get you a better view now. And we're going to pour. Now, this is the fun bit for me. So, first one I did with this fake ocean white. And I think I just want enough to make sure that I completely cover that base. So again, I'm just showing you again the one that I made with the Larifail. Which one do I do first? Can't make my mind up as usual. So just giving it a quick stir around again. And then it's going straight in. And on reflection, I don't think I put enough white in this time. Interestingly enough. So I'm just putting in enough to probably, I don't know, half fill this coaster. And then I'm just going to swirl it around to make sure I've got a thin coat on the base. And I think this is possibly mistake number one. I probably should have added a tiny bit more white to this. But we'll see. We'll see what the end effects are like. I don't want to give anything away yet. You've got to stay till the end to see what we got. But pretty happy that there is at least a thin covering of white on the base of mould number 1. As you can see, it's really thin, the amount that I've put in. But I just wanted to make sure there was enough to just cover it, in case I'd done it too opaque, in which case we'd just get a white coaster. And if you want me to do a video on how to do a massive Larifail with just a white front, I'm very good at those. So just let me know in comments if you want me to do that. And I'm still not sure it's gone all the way around. There it is. Happy with that, I think. And now for coaster number 2. Exactly the same process, but with this homemade white version. And again, just swirling it around, making sure there's enough in there to just cover that base. And let me know in comments, you've already seen Loula's. Do you think these are going to be any better? Do you think they're going to be worse? Or do you think they're going to have roughly the same effect? Let me know. Be interesting to know your thoughts at this point in the video. So just pause it, put something in comments and let me know. Here we go. Let me know which one of these two molds you think looks better as well, the purple or the clear. I think the more transparent one does now. There we go. So I'm just adding a tiny drop more, just to make sure it's completely covered that surface. And then I think we'll be good to go. But again, I think I could have probably done twice as much of this white on reflection. And again, looking at some of the really successful deep Larimars that I've seen, they tend to use, I'd probably say, twice as much white overall than they do the 2 or 3 different colours. So I think that could have been an error. But I think my biggest error with this Larimar effect, I need a thinner viscosity resin to try this next time, because the one I use is the T-Expert for this, and it's a medium viscosity, so it sets up quite quick. So here's that first colour. The aim is to go into the centre, puddle pour about half of this cup in each one. And I think this is definitely the blue. So it's probably, looking at it, I think it's an azure blue. And I thought by mixing the blue and the red, we would probably get a purpley effect. And as you can see, just puddle pouring it now. Doing it from a bit of a height as well. Hopefully that will be pushing the white, which I think is one of the things that creates this effect. And I've still left some clear for the end to do a final push. Here's that peach red, beautiful bright pink. Then we're going to go in with the orange. Like so. And then the final colour is going to be the dandelion yellow. And then we're going to do the push with the clear. And again, the colours look amazing at this point. If only they'd stayed like this. But you can probably guess what's going to happen. And I'm not going to tell you. But you've got to stay till the end. Here's the clear for the final push. Just pushing it all the way out. And there we go. And I think we're pretty much there. Just torching off the excess bubbles. And then I thought to myself, what about if they don't pull all the way in? Because sometimes they will and sometimes they won't. So I got some of this, I think this is called Gold Fusion from Laura's Arcs Corner. And I just added this to a tiny bit of the clear resin I've still got left in the cup. And I thought, what's going to go with the Gold Fusion? Rummaging around my drawers, as we all do as resin artists. And I got this Dirty Stop Out glitter from Create and Bloom, which I actually helped name. So thank you for that, Lou. And I'm going to just put a few scoops of this in as well. Hopefully that will then create a paste that I can just drop in the centre to add to this Larimar effect, if we get one. And again, let me know in comments, do you think I'm going to get a Larimar this time? Or do you think it's going to be yet another Larifail? So here we go, just mixing this round into a paste, the gold and that almost holographic black glitter. Beautiful. And then I'm just going to get a dollop of it, or a blob, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to put it straight in that centre. And again, this could have been a mistake as well, because a lot of the Larimar effects that I've seen that are really successful, you don't see them actually put anything in the centre. But again, I think it's because they're using a thinner viscosity resin, which allows the whole effect to pull all the way into that centre. Here we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. All we can do now, I suppose, is torch off the book, pray, resin gods, that we're going to get Larimar and not a Larifail. This is voiceover Andy, over and out, and you're going to get to see them at Demold. So here we go, and it is the next day, and the question is, have we got a Larimar effect, or have we got two more Larifails? That is the question. So I am intrigued because, as I say, I've not got it right yet. And I think the biggest problem I've got is the resin I use. It's quite a medium viscosity, and I don't think it gives it time to do what it needs to do. But we're going to see. And obviously, by the time this goes live, we should have already seen Loula's. So we'll see if she has managed the Larimar effect and I haven't. It's going to be an interesting challenge, but make sure you follow Loula as well over at Nerd Goblin Art if you haven't already. She's an amazing artist and a great member to have in the community. So here we go. We're going to go with the one first, which I did with the fake ocean white. And again, this is in my handmade mold. So both of these are actually. Oh, that's different. Look at that. Again, it's not the Larimar. It's kind of striations with a circle. But I like it, you know? I like the fact that you can see through it as well. There's that element of transparency. And these shapes have almost formed in the resin. So, again, not the Larimar effect. I think we'll all agree on that. But do I like it? Yes, I do. So looks stunning. Look at that. So we've got almost white striations with that pronounced circle. So let me know what you think about that one. So the first one is not Larimar, but it is pretty. So let me know. And I'm going to get you some close-ups of these. I love that center with the glitter and the gold. And then just little bits of it around. It's almost like a cosmic explosion, I would call that one. Absolutely beautiful. So it's not Larimar, but it's still pretty. Now, the second one is that one where I almost did my own homemade white with the alcohol and some of that pigment paste. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what we've got. And weirdly, I don't know if you can see, a random spot just appeared as it was curing. So again, I don't think we're going to have it based on that first one. Oh, hello. That is Again, it's not Larimar. Again, it's definitely not the Larimar effect, but I like it. Look at that. It's almost like an iris on an eye or a solar explosion. I actually like the fact that that dot's there now. Let me know what you think in comments. But did we get Larimar? No. Did we get Larifails? Yes. But I actually like them. They're very, very different. And look at that. It's a cosmic explosion in there. Absolutely loving them. So don't be deflated if you don't get Larimar Effect. You can still get a pretty cool effect, is I think what I've showed with this video. And again, they're both very different. And I actually think I prefer this one with the white ring. But even this edge, if you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. So let me know what you think in comments. As always, like and subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe to Loula's channel as well, which is Nerd Goblin Art. Just a fun challenge that we thought we'd do. And I'll see you guys on the next video.
Welcome to our custom space where dreams take flight. Epoxy visions coming to life. It's a perfect sight. We born together, blooming free, resin family. Testing my guts, new creations, we set them free. Join our journey, like and subscribe. This is our place. Ocean seas to dragons and blooms, we carve with grace. Welcome to custom carving, where dreams come true. Epoxy magic flowing just for me and you. Masterpieces rising, crafted with our hands. Testing new colors in the spotlight. We're all your epoxy and carving dreams come true. Together we learn part and carve right through. Welcome to custom carving, where fun's in the air.